Welcome back to the Pacific Northwest, Eatonville, Washington. I'm Tammi, and today I'm making a seafood stuffed manicotti with a special sauce. However, I'm not sure exactly what I'm putting in the sauce yet. I'm started with making a white sauce, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour. I've got pepper, a half of a vegetable bouillon cube. I used the Knorr brand. I just cut one of these in half and put it in there. I've got about probably 3 ounces of cream cheese, a cup and a quarter of heavy whipping cream, but I'm not quite satisfied. So I'm going to keep working on this and see what I come up with for a finished product. So I will be right back with you. Alright, I think I've got exactly what I want here. You know, sometimes when you're cooking, the way I cook anyway, I add a little bit of this, a little bit of that until I get it just right. And then I'll tell you what I'm going to go with. And this is what I've got. So it's a white sauce, and I added about a half a teaspoon of dill, a squeeze of lemon. I've got pepper and salt in there, half a cup of baby shrimp, and artichoke hearts, a quarter cup of minced artichoke hearts, and here we have it. And this will be the sauce that I put over my manicotti. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this off to the side, and we're going to get started over here on the filling. I've pre-cooked 6 manicotti shells. I cooked them for 8 minutes in boiling water. They're not all the way done, they're done al dente, and because we're going to bake these in a little bit, but I need them partially done. And here for the filling, so far what I have in here is 1 cup of a seafood mix. I get this at Costco. It's called Lobster Sensations. This is a really large bag. We use it in our business. However, I've cut this recipe to not use the bag because I don't need to make enough for a whole army at this point. So right here is 1 cup of the seafood Lobster Sensations and 1 8-ounce package of Philadelphia cream cheese. And now we're going to add a half a cup of mayonnaise, 1 cup of chopped artichoke hearts, a teaspoon of fresh parsley, 1 teaspoon of fresh minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of capers, a little juice is fine to leave in them, about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and half a teaspoon of salt. And then I've got a quarter of a cup of minced onion. This was my Mother's Day present from my daughter, one of my daughters. She got me this beautiful little set here. I thought that was very sweet. She's the one that usually videos me. However, tonight she's ill, and my oldest daughter is in charge of the camera. I'm sure she's going to do a fine job. So now we're just going to mix all this together, and this is going to be our filling for the manicotti. This is a wonderful dish. The sauce that I made earlier, I just kind of came up with. I needed something to go with this. I know the filling is great, but I needed a sauce. I've used this as a dip in prior recipes, and I decided to try to do it in a main dish, and that's what we're doing here. So this is all ready, and I'm going to use my pastry bag here, and I'm going to fill it up. And we're just going to pipe these full. I'm trying to do this the easy way. Let's see how easy this really is. Almost got it filled up. It was a beautiful day in Washington State today. I love this time of year. The mountain climbers are coming in. It's May, so they're all getting ready to start their climbs, and we've got a company called Rainier Mountaineering up here that leads climbs up Mount Rainier, and people come from all over the world, so get to meet a lot of people this time of year. Alright, let's see how we do here. Alright, that's going to work just fine. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue filling these all the way. And then we'll go on to the next step. I've put a little of the sauce on the bottom so that it'll bake right in there nicely. And now I'm going to put the remaining sauce on the top. These are completely fat-free, by the way. Not an ounce fat in them. I'm sure of it. I also added a little white wine to the white sauce as I was making it. This is going to serve probably, well, it could probably serve 3. I've got 6 manicotti here. Depends on the appetites of your guests. In my house it would probably serve 2. But now I'm going to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on top. I've got maybe a 1/4 cup here. I probably am not even going to use all of it. Well, maybe I will. Yes, I am. I changed my mind. That's the fun part about cooking. I usually don't follow recipes too easily, and I kind of do things as I go. So my measurements, of course, in my recipes at the end will be accurate, but I do things as I go. So I'm going to cover this up with some foil. I've preheated the oven to 375, and I'm probably going to cook the manicotti for 30 minutes. So far, the prep time I have into this, it took me probably 5 minutes to make the white sauce, about 8 minutes for the manicotti to cook, so we're not that, you know, we only probably have about, the most, 15 minutes into the recipe. And while you're cooking the manicotti, you can always make your filling too, or your white sauce, either way, so to save time. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven, and we're going to check on it in probably about 20 minutes, and we'll see how we're doing. All right. Doesn't that look good? Nice and hot. Smells wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and let this cool down for just a second here. That cooked for about 25 minutes. I took the foil off at 20 minutes and just let the Parmesan cheese on top cook on. So I'm going to let this cool down for like 5 minutes. I'm going to plate it, and we're going to go ahead and try it. Now it's time for the taste test. I've already tasted the sauce, and I know what that filling tastes like. There is no doubt that this is going to be delicious. I've created a Friday night special. Alright. So, we have let it cool down a bit because I didn't want to burn the roof of my mouth and blister it into little bits. And now it's time to eat on camera. My favorite time of the night. Okay. Mmm. Those are delicious. They're very rich, very delicious. These would be really good with just a real light salad. And of course, my favorite thing, a glass of Chardonnay. I know, everyone thinks I'm a lush. I own a restaurant, therefore I drink. If you owned a restaurant, you would drink too. Anyway, one more week, dessert week next week, and then we are finished. So until then, I will see you all next week. Cheers!